We interrupt the regularly scheduled mass programming feeds. Watchmen bring this announcement to the earth. A famine of the word of Yahuwah is found on the earth. Plagues are poured out in judgment. Important words of the Creator Yahuwah have been dismissed. Without the word, people are not living abundantly. My people perish for lack of knowledge. There is a city whose builder is Yahuwah Aloha. There is healing for the nations. A light unto the Gentiles, restore all truth. Join us as we share from the word of Yahuwah.
Shemoth, chapter 20. I do recall somebody saying that rather than saying 10 commandments, it's the 10 words, it's the 10 privileges. Once you get to know the Father, it's what you want to be doing. Those things aren't even in your thoughts anymore. And I put this up on my desktop. I wanted this to be my new background for everyone to see. And I'm like, okay, let's have a look at this. Look, I can see here, Anoki Yahuwah Elaheka. I can see that pretty much straight away. I don't know how fluent you guys are in paleo. In this instance, the iron is a circle. Sometimes the stomach is a circle. You can get a bit lost, a bit confused. It's a pretty picture. I put it up on my computer for the world to see as my desktop background. Okay, then I went and I had a look at Bible Hub at the interlinear. I'll just read it along. And Elohim spoke all these words, Debar, Devarim. So it's got a hey prefix there too, so it's the words. So nowhere here does it say there's 10 commandments, nowhere.
Wow.
I am Yahuwah your Elohim who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. That's the intro we get. So starting in verse 3, that's the beginning. Anoki Yahuwah Elaheka. So you can see here, Anoki Yahuwah. Asher is there, brought to you Halzetika, out of the land. So you've got Maretz. We know Eretz is earth, land. And then you've got Mitzrayim. So can you guys all see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then Bait is the actual spelling for the letter Bet in Hebrew. And then of bondage, Abadim. So yeah, as you can see, the iron is a circle.
That's so cool.
I can make sense of that. Okay, I can make sense of that. This is our first commandment, as we know of the 10 commandments, but we're on verse 3. So just so you know that, verse 3 of Exodus chapter 20. So it says, you have no other mighty ones against my face. Lo, Yeh, Lekar, Elohim, Acherim, Al Panayah. That's something that we've all been sort of looking at for quite a while. Elohim, no other deities. They have no other mighty ones before me. Elohim, Akarim. And I know that Eric Bissell has done in one of his teaching, it actually literally says, put no face on me. Put no face on me. That's what the Creator said to us. Don't even try to put a face on me because it'll end up in idolatry. And we know from history that it does. So our second commandment, second word, you do not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of that which is in heavens above or which is in the earth beneath or which is in the water under the earth. Because we know where that leads, right? So it's basically worship the Creator and not his or your created things. Does anyone want to pick out any words there or does anything stand out? I see a share, and we're not talking about the singer. That's actually translated, that is, the next part of this is you do not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. In the 10 commandments, scriptures, you will see lo, don't, you will not. So we see lo everywhere, which is no or not. He's jealous, kana. Kuf looks a bit funny too, doesn't it? But it's almost looking like an English capital Q. The two kufs really stood out to me in that graphic. And we know that bowing down to idols is not something to do. And if you want to read more on the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from Daniel chapter 3, that's a great example. At the very end of this verse, in the graphic here, I even put in the next letter to show you. The next letter is a wa, which starts the next verse. There's no yod, but Bible Hub's got a yod. Whoever did the artwork for that particular graphic, it is incorrect. So I had to go and check out the Leningrad Codex then in the Code Finder program, and I'm like, oh, hooray, yes, there's a yod. Whew. And then I went to the Stones Tanakh and the Stones Tanakh also bore that out, and they had the yod there too. So the artist who did that graphic forgot to put a yod. What I found in sitting doing this exercise was that we just need to be careful of what we share as facts and go search it out. If you've got the time, we can blindly be sharing things left, right, and centre, but they may not be facts. They may not be correct. And I took that picture off my desktop because I now know that it's not exact. It's still a pretty piece of artwork, but it's not exact. What do you guys think about this one?
It's not pretty.
Yeah, but what does it really say? Anoki Yahuwah Eloheka. I got that far. And in the end, I got all the way down to here to verse 5. And you've got Al Shah. Where's the next word? Where's the next word? And in the end, the only way I could sort of work out what that translated as, not being like fluent in this particular font, is by picking out some words I knew. So I found Yahuwah there, that's in yellow, and I found the shirt, which is blue. I found those by sight, and I'm like, I recognize those two words. Going back to the interlinear, I found that we've got verse 5 here, and then we've got verse 9 here, down to 12. The 10 Commandments finish at verse 17. So that's incorrect as well. I'm actually suspecting that we've got page 1 and 3 of maybe a 4-page set here. And unless I down the rabbit hole, I wouldn't have even realised. And I'm like, all I'm doing is looking for a pretty desktop background. And all I'm finding is incorrect creations, yeah.
But wait, there's more.
And then we've got this one. It's a bit hard to read. Yeah, I can see Yahuwah there, but can anyone notice a glaringly obvious mistake here?
Can't read paleo.
I don't know paleo very well at all.
It looks the left one is upside down.
Yeah,
Correct. This one's upside down.
Get going, Tobias.
now you said it, yes.
And I'm like, look, you can see there's a mem there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a mem there. It's upside down.
It's upside down.
And I'm like, okay, again, minor imperfections that are making the whole thing pretty much a joke. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't present scientific facts like that. You're just going to get laughed out of the conference. Just another warning. Search, look at these things. If you've got time, most of us don't have time for. We just don't have time to go do this. So just a quick recap. We're on commandment number 2 because that was a major distraction. We're on commandment 2. Don't make a carved image or any likeness of anything the Creator made. Worship the Creator and not his created things. Second part of that was don't bow down to them. Okay. So the last part of that is, but the Father shows kindness to thousands to those who love me and guard my commands. Commandment or word number 3, we're in verse 7 now. You do not bring the name of Yahweh, your Elohim, to naught, for Yahweh does not leave the one unpunished who brings his name to naught. Now we have a whole module, and that module 10 is amazing. And we know about taking Yahweh's name in vain, and that's solo tov. We know that. But finding out about what has happened in the switching out of Kodesh things out of our scriptures is just like a mind-blowing experience, isn't it? There's a whole short video series from officially the followers of Yah.com over on YouTube called They Have Despised My Name. Go and watch that sometime if you haven't seen that. So here we have lo again, and we know that is no or not. Tsar, it's covenant marker, Kodesh covenant marker, Shem, name, Yahuwah, the covenant marker, name, Yod Hey Wah-Hey. Don't take it in vain. And we know it's a very sad state of affairs what we have in English now compared to the Hebrew. And even in our most correct sort of translations, we've still got errors. We've still got this word here. At least we get Yahweh in Bible Hub. But we've still got this word here. It's Eloheka, which is your Eloah, your mighty one. Word number 4. Remember the Sabbath day, the Shabbat. You set it apart. Make it kadosh. Kadosh. Have a rest. Sit down. Do nothing. Look, we've got Zion, Kaf, Wah, Resh. Remember, Zakor. That's covenant marker again. Yom, the day. Yom. Ha, Shabbat, the Shabbat. Keep it kadosh. And this one goes on a little bit. 6 days you labor and you shall do all your work. So we've got the word 6 here, which is Shin Shin Tao, which is interesting. But we saw a Shin Shin word the other day in our Shabbat study. The T for the purification twice and the finishing accomplishment. Goes on. So many people have forgotten about the Shabbat. Apart from the idolatry stuff, the Shabbat stuff is the other longest sort of commandment. Of 7th day is a Shabbat of Yahweh your Elohim, you do not do any work. You nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gate. Everyone needs to stop. Even the animals need to have a rest from work. So again, I picked out the word asher in that graphic there. Eloheka, there again. Yahweh is there. You've got a lamed prefix, which is 2 or 4. It says of here, but of Yahweh, your Eloheka. And work is Melaka. It sounds a little bit like Melakim, doesn't it? Melaka. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore Yahweh barak the Sabbath day and set it apart. So that's why we need to stop. Can we find the word barak down here? There it is.
I see it. I found it. Yep.
Yeah, I've got to share again.
Yeah,
So is this interesting or am I boring you?
it's interesting. I wish I knew more paleo.
It's just
Yeah.
something different. And look, literally, it's just another font.
Yeah,
There
Yeah.
is nothing else. This is always going to be a yo. This is always going to be a hey. This is
Yeah.
always going to be a wa. And I do believe that Aramaic is the same. And that would be another Chove thing to do. Okay, so number 5 or commandment number 5 is respect your father and your mother so that your days are prolonged upon the soil which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. So what can we see here? I can see Yahweh straight away. I can see a share again. Look at that.
I see mother thing.
Yeah, how do you say it? Mother in
Emma,
so-
Emika.
Okay, so they've got Aleph Mem Kaf here.
There it is. Yep.
Yep. Looking at this, why is this a commandment and what did people do later on in tradition? Mark 7:11, and there's a Matthew verse as well talking about the Korban laws that got used as a tradition to rip off one's parents. Elderly parents need care, just like infants do. And another mistake. So we've got 2 missing yods now, and we've got a word out of order. So they've got the word ha'adamah here for the land. And they've put it here. But in the Bible Hub interlinear, it's up here. It should be here. But they put it here instead. Can't find a decent screenshot for I'm going back to Eric Bissell's array. I'm like, I'm done. But I don't think it's been a waste of time because I wanted to do the exercise and I think it's pertinent that we need to be wary about mistakes.
We've got to be very careful in what we actually put up.
Yeah, we do.
If you're enjoying this video, click like, subscribe, click the bell, and please share this video. Shalom. Let's get back to the video.
And we all know this one. We see it in the horror movies all the time. Commandment or word number 6 is do not murder. But in Matthew chapter 5, Yahushua talks about it's basically character assassination. It's just as bad. It's just as bad. And look, we've got the word lo again, lo, and we've got this word tretzach. Tretzach is murder. I actually had a rabbi, the local guy here, say to me, it doesn't say you shall not kill. It's okay to kill. We're going, what? What? Well, you got to protect yourself or your family. That's not murder. Murder is planning something to some sort of motive and things, but there's a time and a place for killing. Word number 7 is do not commit adultery. And again, it's all about the eyes. Yahushua came and he said, even looking at a woman in lust, you have already shown your heart. So that's lo tov as well. It's all about the heart. In the beginning, it may have been about the action, but in the New Testament times, the Brit Hadashah times, it's all about the eyes and the heart. You do not steal. That's lo taganod. You know, I've got these other New Testament sort of examples, and I found the story of Zacchaeus from the book of Luke. Then we've got word number 9, which is don't bear false witness against your neighbour. And we know false witness, the word shakir, also means a lying spirit. So no lying, no cheating. We know if you lust after something with your eyes, you're going to set your heart up for wanting to cheat, aren't you? Wanting to do the wrong thing. Yahushua in Matthew chapter 5 says, don't swear at all. Let your yes be yes and your no mean no. And look, I'd rather hear an uncomfortable truth than a comfortable lie. You're never going to change it. You're not going to learn anything if people don't tell you what's really going on. And then the last one, which is commandment 10 or word number 10, which is all about coveting. So the word covet, which is tachmod, should be the second word here, tachmod, and it's there twice, tachmod. And I've got low again, and I've got a share again. So yeah, don't covet. Don't want what your neighbour's got. The wife, the servants, the animals, whatever belongs to your neighbour belongs to your neighbour. And if you set yourself up wanting what someone else has, again, you're lusting with your eyes and you're setting up your heart for cheating, and it's not acceptable in the Father's eyes. So the grass is greener on the other side, sort of an idea there. It's not something the Father wants us to live by. So then we've got the end of chapter 20 in Exodus or Shemoth. And we saw at the very beginning of this chapter that Yahweh spoke directly to the people. And this is what happened. Verse 18 here, and the people saw the thunders, the lightning flashes, the sound of the ram's horn and the mountain smoking, and the people saw it. And they trembled and stood at a distance. And the people said to Moshe, you speak with us and we hear, but let not Elohim speak with us lest we die. Like he's going to kill us. This is like so overbearing physically on the body that we think we're going to die from it. Moshe said to the people, do not fear, for Elohim has come to prove you, and in order that his fear be before you, so that you do not sin. So the people stood at a distance, but Moshe drew near the thick darkness where Elohim was. So there was this big thick cloud on the mountain. And Yahweh said to Moshe, say this to the children of Yasharel. You yourselves have seen that I have spoken to you from the heavens. Wow. You do not make besides me mighty ones of silver. So we're going back to the second commandment again. Don't make mighty ones of silver. Do not make mighty ones of gold for yourselves. Make an altar of earth for me. And you shall slaughter on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your cattle, in every place where I cause my name to be remembered. I shall come to you and baruch you. And if you make me an altar of stone, so it's okay to make altars of stone, do not build it of cut stone. For if you use your chisel on it, you have profaned it. Nor do you go up by steps to my altar, lest your nakedness be exposed on it. And I'm thinking, what? Every preaching platform I've ever seen has steps leading up to it. Is that wrong? And what does it mean? Your nakedness will be exposed if you walk up steps to an altar. There's more questions. Yeah, I had to go find Charlton Heston. Of course I did. This is a very, very famous movie, The 10 Commandments. And we can see there, Anoki Yahuwah Eloheka. I don't know if you guys want to make the time or have the time to sit and have a look and see if this matches up with the other things that we've looked at. Looks like they've got a towel that looks more like a cross. Again, interesting stuff. And do the 10 Commandments still apply for us today? What do you guys think?
They sure do.
I think they do.
Yeah, of course they do. It did make me think of something about the hewn stone. He didn't want any hewed stone, but he asked for Moses to go and chisel out. Remember? So I don't understand.
Yep, Moshe had to do this on the second time around.
Yeah, I think I've read that Father wrote both of them. There is a huge discrepancy in different translations about this. It says rock, it says sapphire, lapis lazuli. He wrote it with his finger, or it was dictated.
I think Moshe may have chiseled out the blank tablet and then Yahweh wrote on it. That was the punishment for Moshe breaking the first two. He had to chisel out the second set.
That was his punishment.
Yeah, but Yahweh possibly wrote on both sets. It's unclear. It's unclear.
It's unclear. And it says stone It doesn't specifically say sapphire. I think it was Maimonides said they were sapphire because they were carved from the Father's throne, which there's other references. I think in Ezekiel, he saw the Father's throne and it was sapphire. And that makes sense that the tablets would be actually carved out of the throne.
That's my understanding too, Terry.
Yeah, doesn't that make sense that the
Yeah.
sapphire as his throne would also be his law, that his law is the throne?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're obviously not ruby like Moses has here.
Yeah, yeah. Lovely red ones here.
Yeah.
At least we've got Paleo Hebrew on them.
Yeah,
I know Darla talked about that, how the set dress up
Yeah.
very clued in and at least put paleo on the tablets, which is like, yeah.
are they saying anything? Can you read that? Are they saying anything real?
Yeah. You can see low. You can see low there.
Yeah,
We could spend the time and go through it in comparison,
Yeah.
but unless I get them on the same screen side by side, it's thing that can be done. I still want to go through and make sure.
right.
Great work, Bonnie.
Very
This
beautiful.
is just a rabbit hole. I have the time to do the rabbit hole stuff. Talking about, do the 10 commandments still have a bearing on us today? Then I went to Matthew chapter 5, where Yahushua said, I did not come to destroy, but to complete the Torah and the prophets. So it didn't get pinned to the cross. It's the Talmud that got pinned to the cross, which is the oral tradition, which ended up in things like Korban and all that, the ripping off of the parents, just traditions. Don't touch a light switch on Shabbat.
Well, when you think about it, Yahuwah spoke everything into creation. He used his words, his breath. And
I
we need
agree, Teza. I agree. His word is so powerful. I don't see him using his finger to create the world or to recreate everything out of a void. I don't see him physically using a finger. I think it's his breath. I just feel like it's his breath. I don't know if that makes a difference or not to me.
There was a study or something I had read, and it was saying that when he created the world, he just said, be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding.
I think about when Daniel was called in before were they being destroyed or conquered? The king that Daniel was called in, we've talked about this many
The writing on the wall.
On the wall.
Parson.
Yeah.
And I think it says he saw a hand or he actually saw a finger. He saw a finger. So do we know if that's the Father's finger or a messenger's finger or I don't know.
Don't know. Don't know.
So we've looked at the 10 commandments or the 10 words, and I'm thinking about, well, they're the 10 commandments. What's this thing in the Hebrew roots movement called the 613 laws? So there is a great website called the 613.info, which is fantastic. This is interactive. You can click on these things and you can find out more. It's all scriptural. The food laws and things, which is just wonderful. I did find a little bit more on studying the Korban. You can see it down here in the bottom right-hand corner, Korban. Sometimes it's spelled with a C, a K, but it's a Kufresh Bet Hay. And it talked here in that study a little bit more about the 613 commandments as well. I think, okay, we've got 10 commandments. Why do we need all these 613? But the 613 are mostly for the priesthood. If you've got farming, there's all sorts of different things and different rules for different functions and male and female. So I thought that was interesting. But yes, when we go down that road of looking at these things, we must be careful not to do what Brother Judah does and get caught up in the Babylonian Talmud. Like, don't switch your light on or off. It's like, really? And this is the end. Please let us know if you've enjoyed this teaching here with our international group. We love questions and we love thinking skills. There's a link to the different chats and platforms that we have, and all praise is sent to Yahuwah, the Father, and his mighty Son, Yahushua, our Mashiach, the Messiah.
It's wonderful, Bonnie.
I want to revisit the 10 Commandments looking at the Hebrew. I love the idea of it being in Paleo Hebrew, like we saw in the movie, The 10 Commandments. And really all I was doing was looking for a new desktop background to put on my computer. And look what I've done. Ended up back here. Can you guys see my colourful screen?
Yeah.
I had this.
I've got that pasted on my table.
It's a great desktop backdrop. Go and download it from the Erictology website. It's in the graphics tab. There's all sorts of beautiful things. We've got the paleo, we've got the number value, we've got the biblical Hebrew, we've got the cursive, haven't even gone there. We've got the pictograph, we've got Greek association, we've got English association as well there.
It's a powerful table. I mean, it's glued underneath my glass top table in my kitchen.
A lot of work went into that.
Thank you, Father, for what you've revealed today. It's been massive. It's been just, thank you, Father. Thank you, Yahushua, for giving us the time and the inclination and the privilege of digging into your word. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful to learn, and I don't want to be doing anything else. Anyway, shalom.
Shalom, and let shalom be within your walls and prosperity within your homes. That's
Thank you, Tezat.
Toda Rabbah. Thank you very much.
May this video enrich your love in and understanding of our Abba Yahuwah and His Word. Much has been hidden. Together let's seek the restoration of all truth. A Light Unto the Gentiles channel invites you to join the Hebrew Restoration and Code Searching team. Please email us at alightuntothe@gmail.com to let us know of your interest. Looking for fellowship? We invite you to join our Facebook group, Code Searching Hebrews. Love, truth, and revelation are vital in these last days. The Hebrew Restoration and Code Searching Ministries, through A Light Unto the Gentiles, serves Yahuwah and the sheep from our Father's pasture. Please prayerfully consider a monthly donation to Restoration Farms Incorporated. Links are provided for you below in the description.